Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. Happy Wine Wednesday. Hey, Tanisha, how are you today?
Hey, Sarita. I love it when you put that voice on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Swirl Suite. Girl, I love it. I love every second of it.
You know, it's amazing how the voice changes. My voice changes as I get like real deep into conversation. I don't know, become real black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
anyway.
it's a change. It's some
So, how are
changes.
you? How's Paris?
I'm good. Paris is here. So are the tourists. Girl, so many Americans here. It's insane.
Wow.
Y'all came like the day after they opened up the
Well, we
borders.
were waiting. Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all were clearly waiting. People are hitting me up daily. I'm here. I'm gonna be here in 2 days. I'm coming next week. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
listen. All this outside has got me worn out and my
Mm-hmm.
pockets are empty and it's only like the
I was
12th.
just telling Nicole that outside is expensive.
I'm not playing this outside game anymore. Like I quit.
Speaking of outside, the Swirl Suite, we will be at the Finger Lakes excursion this weekend in the Finger Lakes, and I think we're just going to be talking and drinking a lot of Riesling.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah. So we're going to be on two panels. I forgot the names of them, but just check our Instagram page and all the details are there. So if you're at the Finger Lakes conference, just look for us. We'll be around. It should be a lot of fun.
Oh, it should be. Y'all gonna wear the Swirl Suite shirts? I'm gonna wear
I
mine in
know,
solidarity.
no, I don't think so. I think you're just gonna do,
The way
it's
you
gonna be
said that, like,
casual. We're just gonna be
we're
casual,
gonna wear those.
We'll just be casual.
Okay.
Um,
As
but
you wish.
my book, the pre-sale releases today. So
Yes, talk about it. Tell us about this book, please.
yes. So I created a wine activity book. So just think like crossword puzzles and word finds and some other different games, just all based on wine and sort of like the wine and the Black culture. So
Okay.
it's yeah.
And like, who is this for? Like, what's your market? Who do you think will really enjoy this book?
I think it'll be for everybody, honestly. And when I say everybody, just adults who
Okay.
like to do crossword puzzles in their free time, maybe sitting out on the deck, you know, with a glass of wine, doing their thing. And also, the cool thing about this book is the games inside, you can also like take it to a party and have some real fun with it. Like I played this game yesterday. I was at a birthday brunch. It was probably about 10 women, and I played my lyrics game. So I have a list of song lyrics from different songs that are that have wine or some sort of like drinking reference in the song, and I just give a piece of the lyric with a drinking reference, and people have to guess who the artist is.
Okay. You
So
played that with us before. It's fun.
yeah, yes. So and yeah, it's super fun when there are a lot of drinks and stuff.
So I may
So
know all the answers now
no,
because we've
you
played
won't.
it.
You won't.
Oh, well, you don't know what I know. You don't know what I know.
But it was fun. So yeah, you can go on my website, vimeup.com. The pre-sale is up. If you're getting it shipped, I will ship it after the launch date, which is next week. But if you're local and you want to pick it up, then join me at my launch party next Thursday at the Spritz Union Market area.
That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you,
Yeah.
Sarita.
Thank you. Thank
Sarita
you.
got a book. I was
Ciao.
about to say little book, but I know the connotation of that. And like, I ain't mean it like a little book. I meant like the book is small, but not in stature, just in size because it's activities.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it's not like a Harry Potter book.
Oh gosh, yeah. But yes. So we have a special guest today. Her name is
Special
Nicole.
guest.
Yes. Nicole, you can join us now.
Hello.
Thanks for listening to our shenanigans, Nicole.
Yeah, no, right.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. So Nicole, please introduce yourself to everybody and tell everybody what you do in wine.
Perfect. Thank you for having me, by the way. I was excited to be invited to hang out with you ladies today. So I'm looking forward to our talk today. My name is Nicole Malari. I am the face behind vintnoir, a platform that I created last year. Actually, my 1-year anniversary is coming up as far as going public on social media. So, which was a scary thing to do, but I created the platform just to really not only help myself, but also help consumers who really wanted to be conscious about the purchases they were making in wine. Because of course we're all here because we love wine, but I certainly wanted to highlight the Black winemakers that are present in the space that so many of us may not be aware of, and they're making really great products. And so I just want to celebrate that and share with all wine lovers. So, folks can just really get in there and find out what these winemakers are doing and get to know them and their stories a little bit better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, like, tell us if you're from California, right?
I am. I'm here in the Bay Area.
So, did you grow up with wine? Like, what was your first original connection to wine?
Yeah, so I really didn't grow up with it. I had a great aunt. She was probably the glamorous person in my life that I recall. Other than, of course, watching Dynasty, that was something I really enjoyed. And I always really loved watching Diane Carroll, pour a drink, and of course, all the other gorgeous ladies on that show. But my grandma's sister, she lives here in the Bay Area as well. And she's just an elegant lady. She's always been dressed well. She keeps a beautiful home. She always had this immaculate bar cart, always pouring drinks for people when they came to visit. And she was the one I noticed that really drank wine on a regular basis. And so I just really kind of fell in love with the elegance of the glassware, just watching her pour the bottles and maybe talk a little bit about what she was drinking. But other than that, in my own household, it was more so maybe some occasional box wine I saw being brought out. Maybe on the holidays, you might see that big round jug coming out. But that was about, that was about it. I just ended up, drinking it in college and exploring different bottles. Of course, starting off with what was in my price range as a college student, and just exploring from there. And I just fell in love with it.
Okay, what was in your price range as a college student, though? I'm sorry, Sarita. I know you have a serious question to ask. But so if we're talking college drink, what will you admit to that you drank in college?
Definitely, most of the stuff was probably within the $5 to $10 range.
Okay.
Lots of Sutter Home.
Sure.
I thought I was doing something when I started drinking one of Mondavi's, not the exact Mondavi brand, but one of his off brands, Woodbridge. I thought I was getting fancy with the white Merlot.
Yeah. Man, have you tried to drink that stuff now?
No.
It is tough. It's
tough.
Haven't.
I probably should try just to see.
Man,
I think that's like a beginner starter set. I might have to write a post on that and do a podcast on a
that
starter
sounds
set.
Good, yeah.
All right. You are 22.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get into wine. What have you started with?
It's funny. I did 4 lives last week, y'all. I was beat down last week, but one of the questions was really interesting. So this girl asked me, am I confident that celebrities who promote wine know wine? And I said, that can be a yes or no, depending on who the celeb is. Because if you watch LeBron James and his life, he holds the glass like he knows wine.
Absolutely.
It's something, I don't know, but I watched an episode of Married to Medicine. And you got whole doctors. This lady I think she has a PhD in public health and she's a real doctor. Y'all know she had a Sutter Home Magnum. I said, now you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed on TV, girl. I couldn't believe it. So anyway,
well, she doesn't know and she doesn't have any help. LeBron James does know about wine, but he has also paid people to help him with his collection, help him with the cellar, and talk to him about wine. Whereas there are other people who may have the money and just, okay, I'll drink wine, but don't understand the value in learning more about it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But let me tell you something. If I'm ever on TV.
Oh, no, I absolutely draw the line.
We showing all the way off.
Yeah, I'm like, draw the line at Sutter Home Magnum, but I think I would have drawn the line before the Magnum of Sutter Home.
You think? Yes.
Well, I think I told you once I did a wine tasting for this group. This is early when I first started doing wine tastings for people in their homes. And I didn't know any better at this time. So I gave them a list of things to get. They came, I show up at the tasting and they have magnums of yellowtail Shiraz as their Shiraz. They were like, this isn't the right one. I was like, oh no.
Well, yeah, I mean, they followed the instructions because you just told me to get a grape.
And Merlot. I gave grape and regions.
Oh, yeah.
But they were doing, so the Shiraz, okay, fine.
They understood the assignment.
Or something else, partially. I'm like, you can't cheap out if you want somebody to teach you about wine. I was like, I'm trying to give you, be very particular about grape from certain regions so you can understand where these things come from. But yeah.
Wow. So Nicole, back to you.
Sorry. Special guest, please.
I read that you went to the Napa Wine Academy. What was that like? Were you actually taking classes like in Napa in the Valley?
Yeah, so I did take the classes at the Napa Valley Wine Academy. I started with level 1. I know a lot of people start off into level 2, but I felt like just coming in as an enthusiast, I felt like I just needed that foundation and trying to figure out if it was something I wanted to continue with, because of course the courses are more expensive the higher you go. So yeah, I took the classes in person and I loved it. I was really nervous, of course, going in because I didn't know what to expect. I honestly thought I was going to be the only Black person in the room.
And you weren't?
I wasn't.
Oh, that's what's up.
I was really surprised and happy to see the diversity of the students in the classroom. And so, of course, when we see ourselves, that anxiety level just, it significantly decreased. And I was able to just go, okay, I can focus on taking in all of this, information and material from these folks. And, you really meet some great people. It's interesting. There were so many people just in different stages in the wine space in that room too. A lot of people were enthusiasts. A lot of people worked in tasting rooms. Some of them were assistant winemakers. Some of them worked in the vineyard and wanted to just get to know a little bit more about all the technical, stuff behind wine. But yeah, it was a really great experience. I would recommend, especially if you're one of those folks who prefers to have that in-person, direct access to an instructor. It's unbeatable that way. I do appreciate the fact that you can do a lot of stuff online now, but for me, I really need to be in that space. And I think it also helps to kind of calibrate your tasting. And just kind of having those conversations with people in person was very helpful.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I totally agree. So when you started that program, did you know what you were going to do after that?
I didn't. All I knew was that I loved wine. It was just always this kind of background thing in my life. It's a part of my grocery budget. I kind of plan my life around, what's going on, at wineries. We always end up at a winery, for some celebration or just because it's Friday or Saturday, whatever.
Yeah. And especially growing up in California and taking classes in Napa, I'm sure you're just, I don't know. It's like going to the grocery store. Like you said, it's a regular, thing.
It is. I really don't take it for granted, especially because I understand how special, it is to be able to have access to this place. I can get to Napa when there's no traffic in about 12 to 15 minutes from my house.
Oh, you're that close? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. And just to be able to, and not just Napa, Sonoma, Livermore, Lodi, there's so many wineries that you can get to in California. Even in Southern California, I'm actually going to be boarding a flight on Thursday to go down to the San Diego area. And I will be definitely hitting up some wineries this week as well. So looking forward to it.
That sounds amazing.
Doesn't it? That sounds awesome. And during the pandemic, I knew a lot of people who fled the East Coast for the West Coast.
Yeah.
Just for change of scenery, you know, being near
Grass,
some water.
trees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Warmth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Especially, you know, with us being stuck in the house, I'm blessed that I was able to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that I still had a job. But I was so tired of looking at my backyard, which was barren. We hadn't really done anything with it. And I said, you know what? We got to do something. I need to be able to sit outside and enjoy my glass of wine. So I kind of took on this project to create a little kind of a wannabe winery in my backyard. So at least it looks like I'm
Yeah.
at somebody's winery. I was like, just in case, I don't know how long this shelter in place is going to go on, but I was like, we need to do something.
Now, are you doing it yourself, or did you hire somebody to do it?
No, I did it myself.
Nice.
You know, I was all on Pinterest looking at things that I wanted to do, and got some little wine barrel halves and, you know, decorated with them.
I love it.
Yeah, it helped, especially for my mental health. I can say I love being outside. I love fresh air, and you know, combine that with wine. It's a perfect situation.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's my husband. That's not my wheelhouse. You know, and the thing is, I'll shop for you.
Speak your truth.
I'll shop for you. Like, what you need online. You need something from Amazon. I will gather all the things you need. But yep, you do it. It looks great. Looks great.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was surprised. I was kind of trying to challenge myself. I'm not necessarily, you know, the type of person that's into gardening, but I just, you know what, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, yeah, I totally get that. So tell us about Soul of Sonoma. I read in your Instagram profile that you have a role there.
I do. So Soul of Sonoma is a bi-coastal company that is actually ran by one of my bestie's older sister. She's actually out in the DC area, also born and raised here in California. But she started this company, you know, with similar aspirations as my platform, just to, you know, expose Black people and other wine consumers to the wine brands that are out there from African-American winemakers and other Black folks across the globe. So she puts on these events, and she actually has one coming up next month in Martha's Vineyard. It's an annual event that she's been doing. Wasn't able to do it last year, of course, because of COVID, but this year they're back and running, and planning on putting on an event downtown in some of the little local vineyard neighborhoods, where a bunch of the winemakers are going to come with their wine, and people can taste, and there'll be chefs and, you know, some other vendors you can take advantage of. But specifically my role when I work with them is to just really kind of help guide consumers who are interested in wine tasting. And we do tastings, of course, with Black owned wine brands, just your traditional tasting. But of course, we feel that our presence as African-American women makes the other African-American folks more comfortable, you know, more willing to kind of hear the information and learn, and not feel so judged and just anxious, you know, because wine tasting it's meant to be fun. There's so much you can learn about it if you're interested in that and geek out about it. But we just definitely wanted to create a space where people can enjoy themselves and learn about wine. And as I'm learning myself, you know, it's a great opportunity for me to continue to hone my skills of wine tasting and helping to guide others in that space. So that's what I do.
I love that. I love that. So I thought we'd complete this first part of the show by talking about some of your favorite white wines or your favorite summer wines, whether they're red, white, or rosé. Tanisha, what's everybody drinking in Paris right now?
Beer, because they just finished the Euro Cup, so everybody was out watching that. So it was a whole lot of beers happening.
Okay.
But in relation to wine, rosé, they do a lot of rosé. And then of course white wines.
Yeah. Are y'all drinking anything specific? Because Bastille Day is Wednesday.
Yes, it is Wednesday. We aren't drinking anything specific.
Okay.
You know what I'm not drinking, so we don't have to go into that part. But I actually just got a shipment of Bordeaux in today. I wasn't even expecting it. It just came 2 boxes, so we'll see what that's about.
Well, that's nice.
White or red. So that's what I'll be drinking for the next period of time.
Nicole, what about you? I hope so for you too. What about you, Nicole?
I definitely love rosés. I've had people comment to me, "You drink a lot of rosé." Yes, I do. I drink it year round, and I'm not going to stop.
And there's nothing wrong with that, girl.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I agree. But I've been trying to consciously drink more white wine because it's just not something that I normally gravitate towards. I'm not a big Chardonnay person, unless of course it's sparkling, unless I'm drinking some champagne. But two of the whites that I wanted to share that I came across recently that I just thought were interesting and people might want to check them out. The first one is the Cherami white wine blend that I tried recently. And if you don't know about Cherami wine, Cherami Law is based out of Texas. And I just thought it was so interesting because most people, when they think about wine, you don't think about Texas. It's not something even on your radar when you think about wine. So I was really curious to try her wine and see what it was all about. Her white blend is a blend of Marsanne, Roussanne, and Viognier.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed. I did not expect that.
Yeah. I was excited when I saw that too. So I said, I definitely have to try it. And I loved it. It was a nice take on that combination. Definitely it wasn't a sweet wine, but it did have those floral and fruit forward notes, but it also had a nice bit of acidity on it, a little bit of structure. I definitely think it's worth taking a look at. I know she also, I believe, won a silver medal this year for that wine. So definitely something to check out and just kind of see what's going on in Texas, because I think I read something the other day. It's like the second fastest growing wine region in the U.S. right now.
Really?
Yeah. So
I believe it.
Yeah, folks are serious. I mean, the climate's great for growing grapes out there, so it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second one I tried recently at a tasting. So I'm also part of the Hue Society, the Northern California chapter.
Nice.
And we recently tasted Brindle wines, and they had a beautiful white wine. I actually can't wait till they open up they're building a downtown Napa tasting room. It's supposed to be opening, I think, in a couple of months. So looking forward to, going and checking that out too. But this white blend was really beautiful. What was it called? A Chorus Cuvée Blanc. It's a 2019. It was majority Sauvignon Blanc, and then it had Malvasia Blanc, a little bit of Chardonnay, and a Fernão Pires, Portuguese grape.
The Portuguese grape. Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds really interesting.
And it was, oh my gosh, it was so yummy. It's the brightness of the Sauvignon Blanc was very clear, but those other grapes, they really made themselves known. There were some mangosteen notes, and from others, because I've never tried that grape before. And our tasting group said that the mangosteen aromas and flavors that were coming across were from that Portuguese grape. So definitely made me more intrigued, want to try some more wines with that varietal. But that cuvee was really, really good. So I definitely recommend checking it out if you're interested.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but let's just rewind it back just a little bit to the I don't really care for Chardonnay part. If we could explore this a bit more.
Sure.
So what is it like exact? So no Chardonnay, or just from certain regions?
Specific.
Okay, so I'm sure you know that Napa loves oaky Chardonnay.
Yeah, child.
100% correct.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't want to. I just don't love the buttery.
Okay, that's fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But like I said, I continue to try them. It's just not my go-to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something in stainless steel, or if it's been, half stainless, half, oak barreled is definitely going to be something I would prefer more than a heavily oaked Chardonnay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that isn't your something that you don't like, what is like a go-to white for you? If you're at the store and you're like, you know what, I want to drink a white, what is like your go-to?
I like Viognier. I like it because it's not, I love the floral notes. I love it that it doesn't have a lot of acid. Viognier for sure. But I also love a good Chenin Blanc. I'll take a Vouvray any day. That's something I could definitely, pound the porch with.
Okay, you're back. All right. We're going to have to cut the show short. All right. All is good now. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Nicole, for being on our show tonight. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
A few of my favorites are for the summer. I really like zesty and sharp wines. How Sauvignon Blanc can be sometimes, but I really, really like People.
Isn't that? Oh, that's refreshing.
It is, right? And it's not something you see all the time. You have to go to like a Total Wine or like a really good wine shop to find it. But yeah, People is one of my faves. I like Pinot Gris, especially from Oregon and Washington State. And yeah, I like rosés. And in the summertime, I like them from Provence. So I have to say those are my faves. Now, when I looked up a few articles and they talked about like summer wines, Malbec came up consistently. I guess because of like grilled meats and burgers and stuff like that. So yeah, some people consider Malbec a summer wine.
Yeah, and there's some sparkling Malbecs out there too. I haven't got my hands on one yet, but I do know of some producers out there, and I definitely need to try that because it sounds really yummy. That would be great with barbecue.
Those are really good. It is.
Malbec is just so heavy to me, and this is coming from somebody who literally grabs red wine all the time, and I have to force myself to drink red wine. But Malbec, I'll always just think of as heavy, so that's not usually my go-to in the summer at all. Right. If I want something to go with like a burger or grilled food or something like that, I'm probably going Southern Rhone.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But for white wines, I agree with the Chenin Blanc. Yes, I also like Muscadet.
Oh, love!
So I would drink that.
Yeah, I got some bottles.
Feel like I'll try that one.
That's also hard to find here for some odd reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even if you do find them in a wine shop, it's only like one or two of them. It's never like a wide variety of them.
Just not one of those ones that most people, I guess, they want to make sure that they're getting the bottles off the shelf, and most people don't really know about those wines, so they're not looking for them.
Yeah, good.
They're like, that's obscure. People aren't drinking that. So, nope.
Yeah.
All right. So this part of the show is a little fun. These are random and not so rapid questions. For our money question, we are up to $19,000.
Okay.
So if you listen to the show, we go up $1,000 each episode, and we just ask, what would you do with $19,000 if you had it right now?
Well, that makes sense, because I was like, that's an interesting amount, 19,000.
Yeah.
Like, how did y'all come up with 19?
Where did that come from?
All right, like, that's random.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, I would put that into my business and also maybe take a little vacay. For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And invest and refresh.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tanisha, any ideas?
Yes. I will put it into business, and then I would get a stylist, and I would go like on a shopping spree and like do a whole refresh of my wardrobe. I mean, post-COVID weight, new business, taking my business in a different direction. Like, I want to have a different look. And so that would be like a nice little chunk. Well, that would definitely pay for the stylist. And then I might be able to get like 2 pieces for my wardrobe.
Right.
My answer was pretty similar. I was going to say rebuild my shoe collection. So all the shoes that I thought twice about or too expensive, I would probably get them. And I mean, because I have really flat feet. So comfortability is really important. So, but I like heels too. So I would,
I'm in the same boat. I'm flat-footed as well.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
We all are. I will also try to put some money in like an Uber budget for me. So, with my new heels that I get with the stylist,
there you go.
I clearly can't take the metro in those.
Yeah.
And of course I don't drive. So I got to get to where I'm going and cobblestone roads. So I'm going to need an Uber budget, a slight Uber budget.
Yeah. Once we get a little higher in the amount, one of my answers is going to be a driver. Maybe not every day, maybe every weekend, just like a weekend driver. So
that would be dope.
Nobody has to drive.
Nice.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
And you can leave when you're ready. You could get there on time, probably.
Yeah, right. Just call them up. Hey, we're ready. You can pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
the ultimate pull up.
Pull up. Okay, so the next set of questions are all about travel.
Okay.
So it's either or. So you pick one. First one, hostel or hotel?
Hotel.
Tanisha?
Hotel. At this age, hotel.
Really? I'm surprised you didn't say hostel because that was your life.
That was my life. Yeah, a few years ago. That's what I'm like now.
It's behind her.
Yeah. Understood. Yeah. Hotel for me too. All right. Local food or restaurant?
Local restaurant food.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I mean, it could depend on the situation, but I would say local as well.
I mean, after when me and my husband went to Paris and Tanisha showed us what their version of a kebab is. Yeah. That made our trip. That's what it's called.
Y'all came back. Y'all went back to the kebab
we
spot.
Sure did.
Without me enough.
We sure did.
You know it was good then.
So if you've never been to Paris before, never had a Parisian kebab, it's not like a kebab like what we eat on a stick.
No, like on a stick.
It's like a gyro.
Yeah, a doner kebab. It's actually German or Turkish, one of those. And then each country, European country, has it, and then they, put their little spin on it.
Yeah, but
wow. I'll have to look that place up. I'm planning on maybe going to Paris next year. So
I'll be here, girl.
I'll be in your DMs like the rest of the Americans.
DMs stay lit. I just filled in one earlier today. They were like, "Hey, I'm going to be there this week." I'm like, "All right, let's move some stuff around."
Okay, what kind of traveler are you? Adventurer or lounger?
Adventurer.
Are you really?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't lounge. I can't sit still.
Okay. What about you, Nicole?
Honestly, I'm always looking to be on somebody's beach somewhere. So lounging is what I like to do.
I'm a Libra, so it's all about balance. I can do both, but I definitely can't do adventure the entire trip. Like we're not going hiking every morning, and no, we're not doing that. So if I give you a day of adventure, then that next day I'm gonna lounge. So it has to be.
And see, if I'm in another place, like I can't lounge because I'm like, it's something I'm missing. Like it's some museum I need to see, some exhibition, something that's out there, some street art tour.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean,
I gotta keep moving.
I mean, you can get to it. You just get to it either later that day or the next day.
Yeah, if I'm somewhere like I can't sit still because I'm like sit and lounge. Like what I can lounge at my house. I didn't leave my place. And that's why I don't do beach vacations.
I was about to say, what about water? Like you can't. Okay. But then
have you ever heard me talk about I'm going to the beach? As long as you've known me, you've never heard me say that. And times where I have gone to the beach, I've been on the beach for like 2 hours and I'm like, all right, so what we doing next? We finna scuba dive, we jumping off the side of a boat, we ATV in it. Like, what are we doing?
Interesting.
No, vacation, I cannot sit still on vacation. If I'm away, I need to be awake.
There have been vacations I've been on where I was completely unplugged and I was at the pool all day. all
Yes.
day. And the thing is, if you're at a really good resort or something, you can eat and do everything right at the pool. Swim up bar, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the life. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Group or solo trip?
Group. I love hanging out with my girls. I actually do my cousins and I do a annual Vegas trip, so we always look forward to that. And we are at the pool all day. Yeah, bottle services, whatever. Just maybe a little bit of shopping too, but yeah, we're there to veg out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you have a good group, then yes, I can see you saying group. I don't know about group just yet, because I don't have like a core group of people that I'm like, yes, if I go with these people, I will have a good time.
Yeah, I don't see how people go on like travel group trips and they don't know anybody. That's too unpredictable for me. We're not going across the country, and I ain't gonna like nobody. So I don't know. I don't have that in me.
Well, I think the good thing about those kind of trips though is you can do solo, but you have the safety of numbers. Okay. So like you have things already planned for you. And this is coming from someone who has been a tour guide on a group trip like that. Gotcha. It's like you don't have to talk to those people if you don't want to, but if you want to engage, you can. So it's like you can be solo, but then be with the group and have the safety of the group, but have the activities plans.
Gotcha. So, because I've actually never been on a group trip like that, and it just makes me think of school trip. I'll stay together, but I guess we're adults, and I have to, get out of that mindset. But no, that's a very good point. Very good point.
Not only that, I think what can bring me anxiety about that too is, sometimes you have people who don't want to spend money to have good meals, and they want to just kind of lowball it, and I'm not about that.
And that's another reason why group trips work too, because you have some meals already in there that will be nice, and then if you have a free evening, then you can just go off on your own and do what you want to do. Because like I have known people on those group trips who've been like, oh, I wanted to go to this certain place for dinner. This one girl, she got a car from the hotel and drove the car herself to the dinner place.
Okay.
Ate dinner by herself and came on back.
Okay.
I'm like, well, all right, sis.
All right, then.
But then she knew that there would be people, if she didn't come back, all right, it's a whole group of us looking for her. It was a hotel she was staying at. I was halfway responsible for her. So, it was solo, but yet she was still a part of a group. So that kind of worked out. And she showed the pictures from dinner. I'm like, wow, that looked amazing. All right, great for you. But she was like, she didn't want to ask anybody because she didn't want anybody to be trying to scam me. Like, oh no, well, I don't want to get the full 15 courses with wine pairings. Right. Because everybody vacation budget be different.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. You're right.
You ain't finna have me eating TGI Fridays all week.
Right. None of that.
Some people will try and be like, we just not gonna get just a little sandwich or something. I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Speaking of quick sidebar, did you all see the thing that was making the rounds? It was on a Reddit thread. It was a relationship thread, and it was about this guy. He wrote in and he was like, it's AITA, am I the asshole? And he was like, his girlfriend went on a family trip with them. And it was a few times where she opted out of activities. And, she was only eating a couple of times a day. And he heard her stomach growling once. And he was like, hey, is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, y'all kind of going to really expensive things. And I can't afford to do all the things that you're doing. So I'm just opting out of a few things. He's like, oh, okay, well, if it was too much, then maybe you shouldn't have come along.
I'm sorry. Who is this to him?
Girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
It's his girlfriend.
Raggedy, right?
Yeah. Wow. And then it even came out that he had said that she took an extra job because she was a teacher and he's in IT. She took an extra, and they live together. She took an extra job to be able to even go on the trip.
Yeah.
You were kidding.
And the parents said something to him. They thought it was weird. Like, she's only eating 2 times a day. Is everything okay? Like, is she sick? Maybe she has an eating disorder or something like that. No. And so he was asking like, oh, was he the jerk or whatever? Is it his fault?
Did everybody collectively say yes? Absolutely.
They dragged him.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like, and they were like, she needs to leave. And he's like, yeah, and I probably should break up with her too. And I should probably find someone else who's in my bracket as well and date.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. But this just brought all that up about going out, and we're talking strangers, people who just met. This is they're in a relationship.
And live together
and live together. He made significantly more than her. I think it was like she made
a third of what he made, right?
Yeah, I think they said he made 150 a year and she made 45, something like that.
Oh,
and
no.
The family was, you know, decent, kind of well off or whatever. And it was him, her, I think a brother and the brother's wife, and then the mom and dad.
No.
And I'm like, how does that work? And, you know, she worked this second job to try to help her pay for this trip, but still was opting out of activities and opting out of meals.
That's horrible.
That just made me think of that. It is. It's also like, girl, you deserve better, sister. Or girlfriend, whatever the case may be.
But it begs the question, like, is this really the first time you knew this person was like this? Like, I mean, I don't understand the fact that she had to take a job and he was aware that the reason for the job was to allow her to go on this trip. It's just I don't like it.
I mean,
I don't either. I don't like the optics of that. It's something wrong with that. And also, not victim blaming, because she's definitely a victim, but we also have to take accountability for things that we do to make people think we're okay with their behavior.
Absolutely.
And saying, I'm going to take another job to be able to do something with you, and you aren't helping me at all, is a problem. You're watching me work this second job to take this vacation with you and your family.
That's a level of selfishness that it's unbelievable.
Absolutely. And also, if you're gonna call me a gold digger and you only make 150 a year, like, no, we're not playing these games. Like, sir, what? Like, you're not balling. Like, that's just
it's really not.
That's like slight comfort, right? That's slight comfort.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow.
Yeah. Ladies beware.
Oh, I'm telling you. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Okay. Sorry. Quick sidebar. But that was travel and going out to eat and not having no money.
All right. So last one. Wi-Fi or unplug?
Depends. Where am I? Is this the lounge or is this the adventure? If it's the adventure, oh no, we gotta have Wi-Fi. I need to know where I'm going. You can't have me unplugged, lost in the forest. No. Like, did I already download the Google map? How is this working?
Right.
And I have, you know what? I was going to say unplug, but again, I'm going to take it back to Paris again. You guys have Wi-Fi everywhere.
Oh, yeah. If you're ever in trouble, just stop at McDonald's. Yeah.
It's so easy to get around. Yeah. So I want to say Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you know, I would say Wi-Fi too, because again, if I'm on the beach, I want to have my Spotify on.
There you go.
You know, got the music vibes going while you got your glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a little bit of Wi-Fi. I won't be checking work email,
Mm-hmm.
but definitely.
Oh, no, notifications off.
Yeah. Yes. All right, final question, and we can all answer. Tanisha, you may or may not have an answer, but here we go. You're on a flight to your vacation. What's playing in your headphones, and what are you sipping on the flight?
So you're asking, what did I sneak in my bag, in my little Ziploc carry-on for the flight? For flights, if I want to go to sleep, it's usually brown liquor. Real talk is usually like a little mini of Jack Daniels, and then I'll get a Coke.
Yeah.
So I can drink a Jack and Coke. What's playing in my headphones? Girl, I'm probably listening to a podcast. You know me.
Yeah. Nicole,
somebody getting murdered on vacation. Something crazy.
Oh, gosh.
On your way to vacation.
You know, some true crime podcast. It keeps me safe. I'm like, oh, she did what? Let me do the opposite. Okay. It's a cautionary tale.
For me, I would probably be listening to you know, when I'm on vacation, my mind is away from home, away from taking care of a kid and my house. I'll probably listen to Glamorous Life by Sheila E. Just getting myself pumped up.
That's a great song.
Wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
And drinking something sparkling, whatever they have on those, you know, those flight menus. Maybe if they have a cava, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Cremant or champagne, something sparkling.
Yeah. I remember I took one flight. I think I was going to California. I can't remember. I don't think I was going across the country. But they served kava and Cheez-Its. I was the happiest girl. I said, well,
nice.
All right.
Together, or you just put it together?
Well, I ordered the kava, but the snack was Cheez-Its, which I had never
perfect.
I had never seen that before. I was like, well, this is wonderful.
Yeah, you ain't know what to do with yourself. You probably put your feet up and was like, ugh. you put your seat back that 1 centimeter and like, and we're good.
And we are living. Yes.
Just a little thing.
Right. I really like listening to books on flights, especially long flights. It just makes it seem like I'm talking to someone and the stories and everything. So I like Audible books. And honestly, most of the time it's more difficult to like sneak wine on a plane because it's like anyway, the bottle's too big. Anyway, I usually also get something dark like a bourbon, but I add it to hot tea. So
hot tea.
Yeah. So if you add a little lemon and sugar or honey, if you need it, it almost comes out like a hot toddy. Almost.
But exactly very close.
It's very relaxing. Sometimes I'm asleep before takeoff.
Girl, often I'm asleep before takeoff. Yeah. That's usually that is the goal. I don't even want to remember we took off.
Yeah.
Wow, I wish I could do that.
You can't sleep on planes?
I can, but it's labored. It's not necessarily something I can just do readily.
Yeah.
No, I'm fully gifted in that.
I'm polished.
I'm out. I'll wake up because the plane hit the ground. Like, when it has that little bounce. I'm like, oh, wow.
We're here already. Yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody.
It's funny. My husband, he's a terrible flyer. Just really bad anxiety about flying because he just doesn't understand how everything works. And he's that type of person that needs it. Anyway, I don't care how it works. As long as I get there safely, I don't really care.
The Wright brothers worked that out. I'm good.
So we were going to Seattle. We had we had really good seats. And I was just really comfortable, really cozy. And I fell asleep before takeoff. And we're about to take off. And he was like, are you sleeping? How are you asleep right now?
And you were like, apparently I'm not sleeping.
I was like, well, I was sleeping.
You're talking to me. Right. And we're awake.
Like, you didn't feel that? No. No.
I feel this conversation though. It's causing me to be awake.
That is too funny.
Oh man. Well, guys, this was so fun. Nicole, thank you for joining the Swirl Suite today.
Thank you, ladies. I had a great time too. I appreciate you spending your time with me as well.
Yeah.
Thanks, awesome. Nicole.
Yeah. Before you go, tell everybody if you have anything coming up, like one of your lives or anything, and where everybody can follow you.
Yeah. So again, my handle is vintnoir, VINTNOIR. The inspiration behind that just really is celebrating Black winemakers, Black wine merchants and brands. And I mentioned that I'm going to be celebrating my 1-year anniversary actually on social media this weekend. And I'm going to be in Southern California. I'm thinking about going actually live. I'll be at the Fresh Glass Fest that's being presented by SIP Wine and Beer, Miss Cassandra Shag. She's putting on this festival and she's looking to have it be an annual event in the city of Escondido. So I'm thinking about going live from there. I'll be hanging out with some friends. We have a cabana rented for the day, drinking lots of wine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, meeting a lot of people, winemakers. A lot of folks are going to be out there with their different brands, and it's going to be a good time. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's awesome. That sounds great. Tanisha, you want to share anything before we go? Got anything going on?
Nothing too much going on here. Just the regular Americans back. Tours are back happening. So I'm doing tours, tastings. Y'all headed to Paris? Hit me up.
Love it.
Woo-hoo.
Well, all right, everybody. Have a great night. Cheers.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Once again, thanks everybody for joining the Swirl Suite. We hope you enjoyed our episode. Don't forget to follow Nicole on Instagram at vintnoir. Follow Tanisha and her Parisian excursions at Girl Meets Glass. Follow myself at Vine Me Up. And they weren't with us today, but don't forget to follow Glennis at Vino Noir and Leslie at Vino 301 and The Wine Concierge. Cheers.